Hello and welcome to this a little bit of a different video for this channel. My name is Bree, and today I'm going to just share from my heart a little bit about how my journey has gone with energy healing and channeling. So to give you a little bit of a background on me and my life, I took a very strong and somewhat shocking to those around me turn in life at the beginning of 2022. Now, to back up a little bit, before I made that big decision to leave my corporate job, which may not seem like a big decision to you, but I want you to understand that I left my corporate job knowing I would never return to the corporate world again. I knew firmly, and I knew that the business I would be creating would be my purpose fulfilled, my dharma fulfilled, my soulful path for the remainder of my human life here. And just before making that giant decision to drop my pay to zero out of nowhere, I had a very, very strong spiritual awakening. So in 2021, I found myself very unhappy. I was working a job that I was very good at, but I was unfulfilled. And there was a series of events that occurred in my personal life leading up to 2021, not just the 2020 experience that we all shared collectively. In 2015, my husband and I were pregnant with twins, and the first twin passed in utero very early on, which was upsetting in itself. But the second twin passed at 6 months unexpectedly. And that experience was a very significant experience in my life. Not just because I didn't get to meet my children, but because I experienced an NDE through that surgery. So the surgery to, and I'll probably make sure to put a trigger warning in here, but I crossed over to back within source during that experience. And it took me nearly 7 years to remember that experience. And what I find occurred for me with that particular situation was that I wasn't fully back in my body yet. My soul is what I'm referring to. I see the soul as the light body. And this light body, your soul, travels with you everywhere. In your dreams, in your consciousness, in all of your experiences. And so it was difficult for me to unpack that occurrence. Now, what my spiritual guidance team has been revealing to me in increments was what I was shown when I was re-immersed with Source. And I was shown quite a bit, including what, in particular for me, I was shown many that were close to me and many people and circumstances that I was shown it both ways. I was shown it, here is when you don't come back and here is when you do. And inevitably, I believe that my soul chose to come back because I knew that I had much more to fulfill here on this planet. at this time. So basically, in 2019, I also lost my mother, which was a very, and lost is the wrong word. My mother's soul crossed over very shortly after that experience and in between my two children now that I have. I have a son and a daughter. And so it was a lot of trauma. And when I realized that I needed to heal in 2021, I did traditional therapy, traditional mental health, all of the traditional options that we have for healing. And none of those options assisted me. But what did assist me was energy healing. And I also had a mental framework around this that probably maybe similar to you at this time, that's woo-woo, that's not real. And then I learned Reiki. And then I started to intentionally channel from my spiritual guidance team. And I would receive quantum downloads from many celestial beings at once. So when I would be doing these healings to start, I would be in a closed eye process working on someone virtually. And I would, within my inner eye, see their system, all of their layering bodies, their emotional body, their mental body, their chakras. And it was very surreal, I would say, at first, because I didn't quite know in my mind how this was possible, that I would be working on someone in Sweden, or I had some experiences with healing early on that was global. So I was working with people in different parts of the world. So I'm just consolidating and calibrating this message. So these downloads started to come through me in 2022 after I made this decision to just fully jump into my purpose and not allow for anything to get in the way of my purpose. And it also meant, I'm just bringing through a lot of this in the human context, because much of what I bring through on this channel is channeled messages and healings, and I'll continue to. But I wanted you guys to get a feel for who I am as a person. Maybe that'll help you understand what it is I'm showing up and doing a bit more. So I started to receive channeled messages coming through me in 2022, where it wasn't predictable or plannable by me. It would just, at the start, it was the Pleiadians. So my soul makeup is very Pleiadian. I also have many Arcturian aspects and Lyran aspects, as well as many others. But the Pleiadians would drop into my consciousness and say to me something to the tune of, go record. And I would pull through messages that were seemingly too wise for me at the time. They felt to be, these messages were transmitting from higher frequencies, higher dimensional realms. And so the information didn't feel connective at first. That did change over time. And I did have, a lot of those close to me looking at what I was doing and saying that it was many things. And my ego did get involved many times, saying, yeah, they're right, stop this, or yeah, it is crazy, or whatever. And that was a process in which I learned to hold the hand of my ego, of my mind, to bring it along with me and not let it become a hindrance or hold me back. So inevitably, I am here to raise our frequency and vibration, and also aid in the letting go of addiction to suffering, addiction to certainty, which was a really big one for me that I didn't realize. If control is something you work through and you are reintegrating, transmuting your relationship with control and the concept of control, it's most likely linked in with your desire for certainty. So when we desire certainty so badly, we want that set way. That causes so much chaos in our nervous system because we're in a free will universe, which means that each and every single one of us here, every animal here, every living being here has free will. And that can be a bit complicated in the awakening process when you realize all of the subtle messaging that we're receiving. So I hope that this helps you understand a bit more about how I went from a very structured and easy to predict life to a life that I truly, even though in my heart of hearts, my soul, I knew was for me, there was nothing quite in my mental framework or in those around me telling me that what I was doing was in any way good or right. And yet, the soul knows what the soul is doing. So, a big intention for me being here and bringing these messages through is to help you with soulful embodiment and reactivating your divine soul blueprint. So what you came here to do, how you came here to live and be, and you all came here with gold and magic and gifts to share. So if you're on my channel, it's probably because your soul's knocking at the door saying it's time to share them. And I also want to share with you that you don't need to make a stark change, like leave a job, for example, to start bringing through your soul's essence. So maybe that's creativity for you in some way, and you can take whatever time frame you have each day to express in some way, through your voice, through your hands, through dance, through something. But we're no longer shoving all those emotions down. Even for me, all of that grief, all of that sadness, all of the stuff I needed to process, it wasn't about shoving it down and saying it doesn't exist. It was about feeling it. You feel it to heal it. And I'm here to help us all to do this. I'm doing it, you're doing it. We're all awakening in our own unique way, but it's accelerating. And you're going to have many people in your life that are awakening too very soon, if not already. And you, if you're here on this channel and you're still on this video, you're definitely awakening, and you know that it's not necessarily a simple process. You're breaking down your belief systems, the programmed ones anyway, that are not at all in alignment with your soul, and that can create some personal dynamics that can be a bit challenging. But we all came here with spiritual guides to assist us during times when it got hard. So call on them. Call on your highest Christed light guides, your beings of light that operate with love and above as their core frequency. And they'll be there. They'll drop in. Maybe it'll be a feeling, a sensation, a color, a texture. But this isn't just for me, it's for everyone. We're all divine. We all came from Source. May you remember. And I hope that you enjoyed this, getting to know me a little bit better. I'm grateful to have you all here. I started all of this from my heart and soul. So it's not about the mind shaping it. It's about me surrendering to the divine. And I take it maybe you're doing some of that as well. So I hope you stick around. Give this video a like, a comment, a share if you know someone that maybe has some thing that they can take away from this. And I love you all. Namaste.